Dzień dobry, good morning. We are here at Hofgeismar at the meeting of Varroaresistenz 2033, and we are also taking part as a Polish team with 6 of us. And we have a pleasure to meet also Martina Gabela, who is a co-author of the book that we already have in Polish. It's about biotechnical methods and the resistant bees. So, good morning, Martin.
Yeah,
again.
Good morning. Hi.
Martin, together with Dr. Bucher, they work in Kirchhein University, and they also deal with resistant bees and breeding, right, Martin?
Indeed, yeah. I mean, Kirchhein itself is not part of a university, but an institute which mainly works in the field of honeybee breeding, but also other topics of honeybee science and education. And yeah, we put together this book with Alex Usunov, also who is the first author in this case. And yeah, especially Alex and Ralph, they worked on this topic for very long, and later I joined them.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, because you work actively also in this movement of Varroaresistenz 2033, just for our Polish beekeepers, but also for Polish part of Varroaresistenz. We wanted to ask what successes you have, and also what challenges you are facing in this movement and what it is about.
I mean, the movement itself is quite young, I would say, so it's hard to tell the real goals which were reached so far, but I think to see the interest is already impressive. I mean, for like 2.5 or 3 years now, people are working together on these topics, and there's a huge interest in it. And for me, it's kind of the next logical step, because all these methods for biotechnical varroa control and all the efforts in breeding, they lead together into this direction. And I think to come together in a bigger group and really join forces on that is the next step which we have to take now.
Did you face any issues yet? What was the hardest at the beginning?
Yeah, I think in this realm of honeybee science or beekeeping, it's always up and down, I would say. So you sometimes have bad years when it's harder to apply the methods, or you have to adjust them to the temperature or to the honey flows. And it's the same with breeding and selection. Sometimes the performance testing is not so good. So you have to stay flexible, I guess, and to react really shortly when you see, okay, there's an issue in the hives. But overall, I think we have the tools and the methods to react. So whenever a problem arises, we can handle it usually, but still there's a long way to go. And I think that's one main issue to keep in mind. It's not so easy, although we reached some progress, especially in breeding. It's a long way to go, and this we only can go together, especially with beekeepers who are in favor of such natural-based methods and more natural way of beekeeping.
So basically, beekeepers need to have knowledge about bees, about the mite.
Right, and especially about the connection of this host-parasite interaction, let's say, of the biology of mites and bees. And when we understand this, we can handle it more effectively.
But the methods are there. There are more easier ones or more complex ones. But the selection is there, so the beekeepers can.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole set of methods, like a toolbox, and you can pick the one which suits your style of beekeeping best, and also adjust it to your way of beekeeping or to your way of handling the hives. So I think it's quite flexible, and therefore it fits more or less each and every one who's willing to try it and who sees the goal behind.
And what would be the advice for the breeders?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty wise to use some mites in the hives to gain the selection pressure on on your performance testing colonies to really see which colonies are able to handle the mites and which are not. Because when we always treat all of our hives, then we never will see this natural mechanisms work. So I would say it's wise to keep some mites in the hives. Of course, keep an eye on the infestation levels and keep them below the thresholds. But if you let nature work, let's say in this case, then you can also use it for breeding.
And we hear a lot about local breeding groups. And if you could explain a little bit more about this concept.
I mean, here local breeders from one area, they usually work together, and I think it's quite important to keep the diversity high. So local adaptation overall in honeybees is quite important, and this also is true for Varroaresistenz and Varroaresistenz traits. So for us it's important to keep a diversity of different breeding groups, breeder groups, which keep different strains of bees to avoid any inbreeding conflicts or problems which may arise afterwards if you just buy the best queen from somewhere, import it and try to bring it to your hives.
So basically it is all about working together.
Right.
Not to be I am the best, but it's about being together and see the common goal.
Indeed. And after all, when you work with your hives, you are never alone, because your bees are in interaction with the environment and also with other beekeepers around and bees around. So it's important to keep that in mind, that it's really our goal, that's not the goal of one single person, but our goal to keep Varroa under a certain level.
Okay, so let's hope we progress.
Yeah,
Thank you, Martin, and we hope to see you in Poland sometime soon, that we will tell more later.
Would be nice.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time.